Hello friends, welcome to the 5th episode of Fac-Tion, the place where the line between reality and imagination is thinner than you think. But wait, before we dive into tonight's stories, if you haven't watched episode 4 yet, pause this video right now and click the link above or check the description. I'm about to reveal the answer to the previous mystery, and I really don't want to spoil it for you. Okay, are you ready? In the last episode, we had 3 stories, and many of you made some interesting guesses in the comments. But the terrifying truth didn't belong to the first or the third story. The story that was actually real was story number 2, the doll. Yes, that haunting event actually happened. Now, let's see if you can distinguish truth from fiction in today's video. We have 3 new tales for you. Pay close attention to the details. Let's begin. Story number 1, the sleep recorder.
The apartment was dead silent, the kind of silence that rings in your ears when you've been awake for too long. For weeks, Alex hadn't slept properly. He would wake up exhausted, with bruises he couldn't explain and a strange, lingering feeling that he had been watched all night. Desperate for answers, he downloaded a popular sleep tracking app on his phone. It was supposed to record any noise over a certain decibel level, snoring, talking, or movement. The first 2 nights were uneventful. The recordings just showed the rustling of sheets and the rhythmic sound of his own breathing. But Alex still felt drained. On the 3rd night, he set the phone on his nightstand, plugged in the charger, and drifted into a heavy, drug-induced sleep. The next morning, the sun was shining brightly, but a cold chill ran down Alex's spine when he checked his phone. The app showed a spike in audio activity at exactly 3:14 a.m. A red bar indicated a loud recording. With trembling fingers, he pressed play. At first, there was just static. Then, the sound of his own heavy breathing. But about 10 seconds into the clip, the sound changed. There was a distinct, wet shuffling noise, like bare skin dragging across the carpet. It got louder, moving from the foot of the bed toward the nightstand. Then the audio picked up a voice. It wasn't Alex's voice. It was a guttural, dry whisper, so close to the microphone that the audio peaked and distorted. The voice said,
"What is this?"
There was a pause, a terrifying silence that lasted for 5 seconds. Then another voice answered.
"Can we go home? It wasn't your fault."
Alex dropped the phone. He lived alone. He had locked all the doors. He looked at the timestamp again. 3:14 a.m. That was exactly the moment he had woken up feeling a weight on his chest.
Story number 2, the Watcher.
657 Boulevard was more than just a house. It was a masterpiece. Located in the wealthy suburbs of Westfield, New Jersey, the 6-bedroom colonial mansion was the fulfillment of the American dream for Derek and Maria Broaddus. They bought the property for nearly $1.4 million, envisioning a perfect life for their 3 young children. Renovations began immediately, and the excitement was palpable. 3 days after closing the deal, Derek went to check the mail. Inside the box, among the bills and flyers, was a thick, white envelope addressed simply to the new owner, in clunky handwritten letters. Derek opened it, expecting a welcome note from a neighbor. Instead, he found a typed letter that would destroy their lives. It began,
"Dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard, allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s and my father watched in the 1960s. It is now my time. Do you know the history of the house? Do you know what lies within the walls of 657 Boulevard? Why are you here? I will find out."
The writer, who signed the letter as The Watcher, seemed to know everything. The letter continued with disturbing details about the family.
I see you have flooded the house with contractors so that you can destroy it as it was supposed to be. Bad move. You don't want to make 657 Boulevard unhappy.
The most terrifying part concerned the children. The Watcher wrote,
You have children. I have seen them. Once I know their names, I will call to them and draw them to me. I asked the woods to bring me young blood, and it looked like they listened.
Panic set in. The police were called, but they found no fingerprints and no DNA. The letters kept coming, becoming more aggressive and specific. The Watcher knew which room each child slept in. The family was so terrified that they never spent a single night in the house. The dream home stood empty, watched by an invisible enemy that was never caught.
Story number 3, Phantom Passenger.
It was a rainy Tuesday night, and Liam was near the end of his shift as a rideshare driver. The clock on the dashboard read 2 a.m. He was about to turn off the app and head home when a request popped up. The pickup location was a bit remote, near the edge of the old forest road, but the search price was too good to pass up. When Liam arrived, the rain was pouring down in sheets. Standing under a flickering street lamp was a woman. She wore a long white vintage dress that looked completely soaked, yet she didn't seem to be shivering. She opened the back door and slid in silently. Rough night to be out without an umbrella, Liam said, trying to be friendly as he started the meter. The woman didn't respond. She just stared straight ahead, her pale face reflecting in the rearview mirror. Her eyes were dark, sunken, and incredibly sad. Liam felt an unnatural chill fill the car, colder than the air conditioning could explain. He decided to just focus on the road. The drive was quiet. The only sound was the rhythmic thumping of the windshield wipers. After about 15 minutes, the GPS directed him down a dark, unpaved road. The car hit a massive pothole, jolting the vehicle violently. Sorry about that. Liam apologized, instinctively glancing at the rearview mirror to check on his passenger. The back seat was empty. Liam slammed on the brakes. He turned around completely. The doors were locked. The windows were up. There was no way she could have jumped out. His heart hammered against his ribs as he turned on the interior light. The woman was gone. But there, on the gray fabric of the back seat where she had been sitting, was a puddle of water and a piece of rotting, wet fabric that smelled of damp earth and decay. Confused and terrified, Liam looked at his phone to check the drop-off destination he had been driving toward. The pin on the map wasn't a house. It was the main gate of the city cemetery, specifically the section with graves dating back to the 1920s.
Alright everyone, those were tonight's 3 stories. We had 1. The Sleep Recorder app, 2. The Watcher House, and 3. The Phantom Passenger. Now comes the hard part. Which one of these was absolute reality, and which 2 were twisted creations of the mind? Make sure to write your guesses and comments below. This time, it's harder than ever because all of them sound terrifyingly plausible. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be the first to know the answer in the beginning of episode 6. Until the next video, stay safe and stay curious. Bye.